Okay, on the bench we have a style of machine I have not seen before. This is a Singer Model 290C, and it's a touch and sew with this black trim style. So it's got auto winding bobbins, but this style of trim I usually associate with the Athena 2000, which has the Athena bobbins winding in it. So it just is a little odd that it's got this newer trim and the older winding system in it. I haven't got any other information. I have the manual for this machine, but I don't know anything else about it. And I haven't read the manual yet, so I'm going to start and just sort of check it over and see what we get. So the cover here, there's two covers. The tensioner here, and there's some paper somebody got in this. This tensioner is a modified version of the lid-mounted tensioner that Touch and Sew's had with the dial across the front and that top button. So that's interesting. Now, okay, so this cover is connected on the end here. There. Okay, so this end cap is one piece. It's got the top screw and the side screw in it. So if you go to remove this, even though there's a seam here, this does not come apart. It has two screws to take it off. This is glued together at that seam. And then the parts that this has, like this cam stack here, this is a style of cam stack that continued to appear in later machines like the 2502C. So it definitely has lots of interesting kind of crossover features. Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna have to figure out how to align the drive belt, because the drive belt, as I'm turning the machine, it keeps drifting to the inside like it wants to pop off. So let's see, it's got these levers are free enough. That's working. Oh, everything is free in this machine, so that's good. Well, with the lid off, I'm going to move the camera and we'll get the bottom off to check it over. So this bottom here, very similar to the flathead screws in here, so these are kind of a fishing expedition to get the screwdriver to seat into the slot. One of the nice things about a blind hole with Phillips screw in the bottom is that if you get the tip of your screwdriver centered in the hole, it will generally also then center into the screw, but and given that this machine shares a lot of features with later machines, then the touch and sew bobbin system. I'm not sure what exactly style of gears it will have. But this is the style of base that like the 1036 and I think the Athena 2000, a lot of other machines kept using for the convertible flatbed free arm. And means there's just an awful lot of screws in it to get it to pop off. And that first hole that I was in, that screw came loose, but the bottom part of the plastic hole is broken off. So that was not holding the base on. There's the ring. Now, excellent. This machine has the modern helical gears instead of the square cut ones, so that's good. That's the style that, the upgraded style that went into the Athena winding system. So that's nice. It's got the classic flipper for lifting the winder drive, and the winder drive seems to be moving okay, so that's good. Alright, well, I'm gonna finish scraping some of this old grease off of these gears and get some fresh grease on this machine. And then we'll see what I can do about maybe checking the alignment on this motor. So it's hard to see, but this big screw here is actually the tensioner for the drive belt on the motor. And this goes through, has a cam end that sticks into a plastic urethane rubbery bushing, and those bushings get weak, crack, stretch out, get soft over time. So this one didn't fall out when I adjusted it, but sometimes the whole thing will just disintegrate, fall out of the bottom of the machine, and then you have to take this whole pin out and put something in there, like either a piece of nice rubber tubing or whatever you have to cushion this a little bit, and then tension it up. This one was just getting a little bit soft and is only a little worn, so I adjusted it instead of taking it out and figuring out how to replace it. But that seems to have caused the belt to center up on the pulley better now that it's under slightly more tension. And then I oiled all of our shafts here, and I'm going to put a dab of grease on the gears, and then this has a very long belt with a pair of idler pulleys in the column of the machine that I'll need to oil the idlers. And with the touch and sew or the Athena system, very important to check that the drive plunger is moving freely. So I'm pushing on that, and the drive plunger is moving really freely. I slid the bobbin cover open so that I can push on the activator lever here, and that is moving really freely. This one doesn't seem to be cracked, so I don't need to worry about replacing it. Some of these form a crack on the side here pretty regularly, and I usually put a dab of super glue on that to hold it together until the part fails more completely. This is still available, so it's not a big deal to get it replaced. And last thing before I close the bottom up, this spring is the needle plate retaining spring. So if I oil it from under here, then that'll be free. Threw the bottom back on, and then single screw there, and the side does slip right off. You can see there's two idlers here for the main belt that drives the top to the bottom of the machine. So get some oil on those two idlers so that we have smooth movement on the idlers. And then pop that cover back on. Peering in the top from the back side of this 290, since this front control is not necessary to remove for our checking and lubricating, so I'm rotating the stitch selector and it's sliding the cam up and down really easily. When I slide the zigzag lever here, that moves really nicely and stuff. This control that I'm moving is our needle position, left, center, right. This lever is the stretch stitch selector, and it is a bit stiff, so I'm gonna get a little bit of oil on it here. And then of course we can reach in and get the two main bearings for the top shaft. And this is a machine that they generally would have considered sealed when they sold it, so you would have been told to oil the bobbin area and possibly in the head here, but they didn't necessarily expect at home for you to pop the top off and oil the upper and lower shafts. So that's why when I get these open, I try to get oil on the inside on the upper shafts in particular, even if they seem to be working pretty well. Yeah, and just putting a teeny bit of oil on this mechanism and it's already easier and smoother. So I'm gonna plug this in and run it a little bit to work that fresh oil in. Okay, the last bit from the back side, you can see this is the tensioner. I currently have it set for 0, and this style of tensioner, when you slip it to 0, it automatically completely releases all the pressure, and then as you slide this forward, it takes spring pressure from here and it pushes on this to tug the discs together. So if you set this tensioner to 0, the discs here, visible from the back, will open completely up. And these are visibly dirty. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but as I'm scraping at them, rubbing them with my dental tool, there's goo coming off on them. So time to get folded fabric and apply rubbing alcohol, and we'll just put that in there a little bit and then make sure that the discs are gripping on it. Loosen it up, put it back in there. The important reason you fold that, of course, is that this folded edge then won't shed any bits of fabric like that. It won't shed these pieces into the tensioner to make things worse. And this is a piece of test fabric, but the section I used doesn't have any loose thread tails. I'm not flossing with loose thread because, of course, you're trying to remove any extra bits of thread that got stuck in there, so you don't want to add more as you're trying to clean it out. So, alright. Having flossed that tensioner, I think I'll pop the top on and we'll try this out.